he's just 0.6 of a second behind him. Their pace is poor, mid 1 minute 28. And as I say, Sato just behind them. Perhaps Ted Kravitz now in the pits at the BAR garage can shed some light on Jensen's plight.
Well, I tell you what, the irony that being stuck and having your race ruined, sitting behind Jacques Villeneuve of all people, is not lost on all these BAR mechanics down here. There's no real clues as to Jensen's problem. As I say, it's just that Villeneuve won't get out of the way. We do think, by the way, that Villeneuve has to stop before Jensen, so at least Jensen can get the hammer down. But as we say now, the tyres are going to be starting to wearing far down, and these guys are just going to have to take it so carefully.
Thanks, Ted. Kimi Räikkönen has the right-hand barge board and some aerodynamic pieces. You can see it. If you look at your left hand, his right hand, that dramatically affects performance. I have to say, I think, in fact, he's got a piece of somebody else's bodywork in there, I think. And that'll be affecting also the cooling on the right-hand side pod. They may have to bring him in and take that off if it doesn't come off by itself. But the cars are beautiful this year, absolutely stunning in their detail. The way that the aerodynamicists and engineers have created the airflow over the car, and Räikkönen is very slow at this stage, and that's just destroying all the airflow under the car too.
He's very vulnerable too. He got himself in front of Michael Schumacher as a result of the pit stops, but he is now 2.5 seconds a lap slower than Schumacher, who is closing right up on him. Now it's got the gap down to 4 seconds between Schumacher and Kimi Räikkönen. So Räikkönen's in trouble here at Albert Park, not for the first time this weekend. He made a mistake in qualifying this morning. He got pushed off the grid at the start and had to start this race from the pit lane. Finally got himself in front of Michael Schumacher and put some margin between himself and the world champion. But now with this bodywork problem, and Schumacher's car doesn't seem to be handling right either.
Is that Michael with his hand up in the air? Michael Schumacher with his hand up in the air, or was he taking a rip-off the visor or whatever? But I think that'll be seriously affecting the engine temperatures too on Räikkönen's car. They'll be watching that closely on the data acquisition. They can see that here at the racetrack. They can see it back at the factory in Woking. They know exactly how his temperatures are going, and they'll keep an eye on it.
We have got a car off at turn 13, which is car number 18 of Montero. I wonder whether Schumacher was acknowledging the yellow flag with his hand. It's possible, but either way, look at those tyres. They don't look too bad, do they? The left front, as I said before, is the one that will show the most wear. Jarno Trulli, first man then to make the second stop of the afternoon. And there is the reason why Montero is off track.
Yeah, and yeah, talking about the tyres, looking at them through free practice, they just look superb. They've really got the compounding right. Let's see what Michael Schumacher's time was, a 27.2, so he wasn't too shabby. Räikkönen's in the 128s now. But what's going on in the temperature department, and will they have to bring forward his next stop?
I wonder. Beautiful skyline of Melbourne, always in a battle with Sydney to who can outdo each other for events, and certainly the Australians, not only do they know how to organise a world-class sporting event, the fans know how to enjoy one too. They turn up in their hundreds of thousands here, despite the rain yesterday. We had a huge crowd, almost 400,000 people expected over the 4 days of this Grand Prix weekend, and well, they call Albert Park, Melbourne, a great place for the race, and none of us would argue with that.
You see, on those, we saw this last year, didn't we, with the Parc Fermé situation. All of these little brackets and bolts that may be much more intensively checked, they can't do that anymore because the cars go off into Parc Fermé. And we did see quite a lot of bits and pieces hanging off cars, didn't we? Particularly in the early stages of last year with the Parc Fermé situation. It looks like a piece of his own car. I keep looking at it. I don't think it's anybody else's car. It's a bit of barge board or something that's wedged in there. You can see it now poking out.
What's it doing to his lap times? He's in the mid to high 127s. Michael Schumacher now in the low 1 minute 26s, so he is catching him, and I'm pretty sure he's going to have a go at him in the next couple of laps. But here's an interesting phase of the Grand Prix. For the first time, the top 7 runners are all lapping in the same sort of pace in the mid 1 minute 26s. That's the first time we've seen that. There's been a real disparity up to this point, but now they're all kind of lapping at the same pace. So it's extremely hard to predict how this race is going to turn out. One thing you can say for sure, though, is with a 12-second cushion at the front after 39 laps, Giancarlo Fisichella is looking good for his second Grand Prix victory.
Yeah, we ought to talk about him really. Flavio will be doing his pieces. His car's not getting on the telly, is it? It's leading so comfortably. And Fisichella's just pacing himself. Whatever Coulthard does, he's just matching it to give himself that, keep that cushion around a dozen seconds. And he really does look like he's got it completely under control up front. But second, third and fourth is wide open, maybe even between 5 drivers. Coulthard, Webber, Barrichello, Montoya and Alonso, all with fast cars at this stage. Klean's hanging on too, but he's 35 seconds behind Fisichella now. But I think there's 5 drivers up for second and third place at the end of this race.
Well, here we have a real good scrap forming up here. Trulli, Villeneuve, Button and Sato, 11th, 12th, 13th and 14th, and there's an awful lot of niggling going on there. I wonder who's going to make the move first. I wonder, Martin, with these harder tyres this season that have got to last these 250 miles now, do you think that's contributing to less overtaking? Is it more difficult to overtake, you think, on the harder tyres?
Yeah, you've got less mechanical grip, and of course you're petrified of locking a front wheel by going in too deep. You're running about 3 degrees of camber on the front. If you lock a wheel, it just wears away a big patch on the inside of the tyre, vibrates like crazy. It shakes your eyeballs. You cannot see where you're going at 180 miles an hour. And of course they can't really come in and change it in case it's deemed not to be a dangerous tyre and they take a penalty. So I think it is, as I said earlier on in the programme, it's giving drivers...
Brakes. We are okay, but we need to look after them. We think JV is stopping before you, so you should be okay still.
Okay, that's Sato being told, look, your brake wear's high enough, just steady up a little bit. And Button is stopping, but your teammate is stopping for you, so you'll be able to leapfrog him if you're running a bit longer. That's the message that Sato was getting there from his engineer.
Yeah, look after the brakes is the message. Then second stop of the afternoon for Mark Webber, was running in third place. Räikkönen also pits, and they'll be getting rid of that piece of bodywork. Let's have a look. Camera's on the wrong side. There we go. Look at him. Well, from the way they had to hoik it out, I wonder if it was a piece of his own bodywork. The radiator now unobscured. And a lengthy but decent stop by the McLaren team. Räikkönen back out in the race, but Michael Schumacher will have got past him. Bear in mind, though, Schumacher has to stop again as well. That's Ralf Schumacher, who was in 15th place, that Räikkönen is rejoining in front of. Into the pits comes Jacques Villeneuve. And that's great news for the 2 BARs of Jenson Button and Takuma Sato, who were stuck up behind him.
Yeah, it's more like a stop at a gas station on the side of the road, isn't it? Top it up with fuel and just clean out, you clean your windscreen, they're just cleaning out the side pods. The Red Bull team ready then. Klean stopped first last time around, so you'd expect it will be him again. Coulthard's still in second place. It's Barrichello up behind him now because Mark Webber has pitted for Williams. I didn't see that, I don't know if you did, James, but Webber has pitted. So Fisichella leads from Coulthard, Barrichello, Montoya.
Yes, indeed. Well, we did see it briefly, and there is Button now. No Villeneuve to contend with, but he's having a nibble at Jarno Trulli, who looks slow at this stage of the Grand Prix. Villeneuve goes to the outside into the fast chicane, turn 10, turn 11. Where can he have a go? Possibly down into 13 if he gets himself tight up. Here he goes, down into turn 13. Trulli tries to come across, but Button takes the pass. And, well, Button certainly much faster than Jarno Trulli at this stage of the Grand Prix. The Toyota, which was running comfortably in second place in the opening phase of this Grand Prix, has lost its pace completely. And Jarno Trulli is, well, he's had his second pit stop of the afternoon. Jenson Button has yet to make his, so I'm sure that's got something to do with it.
And Sato pitted. Sato, although we heard on the radio he was pitting after Jenson Button, they have clearly swapped that around and brought him in early.
I wonder whether that message was for Jenson. They were saying JV is pitting before you because it was Jacques Villeneuve in front of him on the racetrack. So I wonder whether it was a message for Jenson just saying, look after your brakes, possibly.
It could have been. Sorry, I thought it said JB, but anyway, I think you could well be right, James, because that's not making sense.